Arena. In September 1989, Floyd Havard from Swansea lost his British super featherweight title in a really bruising encounter with John Doherty, which severely damaged his hand. Well, since then, Havard has had surgery, but at last he's ready for his comeback. Here it is now against Tony Foster from Humberside, 26 years of age, 14 wins, 17 defeats in his 33 fights.
Well, I'm delighted to see Floyd Havard back in the ring, the forgotten man of British boxing, his first fight for nearly a year and a half here. Floyd Havard in the red trunks, the southpaw, who was on the verge of great things until a disastrous night in front of his own people when his right hand went and he lost his British 9 stone 4 title to John Doherty. Turned his back in the 11th round and was unfairly criticised for that, in my view, because he'd always had hand trouble throughout his career, and the hand had gone as early as the 4th round. But he's had surgery on that now. He's had a graft from his hip to his right hand, and now he's back again, determined to prove all those critics wrong. His opponent here tonight really stepping up in class, taking a big step up in class. Another southpaw from Hull, 26-year-old Tony Foster. I don't think it's fair to judge Havard too harshly too soon, because he's going to take a little while, Barry McGuigan, to get the bearings and get everything sorted out after.
Yeah, I see a little mark on above his right eye. I wonder, is he just jabbed at it there? I wonder, is that coming from Foster? Is it actually himself? He's looking reasonably sharp, having, you know, when you think that he's been out of the ring for so long, he's very quick and he's nimble, sharp, and his normal self. So he looks like he's back to himself. This is a strong kid, this Foster, so he can't afford to take chances and make mistakes.
Floyd Havard eased himself back into the gymnasium. I think, Barry, you are right. I think he's got a little mark around about the right eye there. Eased himself back into the gymnasium. He went in August, and he's, goodness me, well, there's a shock for Havard.
Right on the button.
That really is a shock, and I tell you what, Barry, I don't think anyone's ever done that to him before. I think that's the first time he's been knocked down in his career.
Well, maybe that's a bit of ring rust, I don't know, but it's not good to get knocked down in the first round.
Well, he was up very quickly, and no count from referee Mike Jacobs, but we said we mustn't judge him too harshly, but I think it's fair to say we didn't expect to see Floyd Havard on the deck in the first.
He's been down at that right eye, and I wonder, was he concerned more about that than actual punches from Foster when he got nailed with a perfect left hand. He's got to be careful now. This guy's very strong, and he can't afford to make mistakes.
Well, certainly Foster, the southpaw from Hull, has given him plenty of bother in this first round, and he's had Havard down, and he's also nicked him around the right eye, and this has been an awkward comeback thus far for Floyd Havard. We'll check him out at the end of the round and just see how serious that damage is. But he has always had a tendency to take a bit of time to get going. And,
shook his head as he went back to the corner there, Jim. I wonder, is he a bit upset, obviously, about being knocked down and the cut. Foster just landed a perfect left hander. Just hit him right on the button with that.
Right, here comes the knockdown as Floyd Havard was feeling his way back in, and it was a little short left hand, and down he went for the first time on my records in his career. No count.
We have another view of it. Just came straight over the top of it. And it didn't seem to be a tremendous punch, but it clipped him in the right place, and down he went. And that hasn't done his confidence any good.
Round 3.
Third round then of what's been an awkward comeback fight so far for Floyd Havard, out for nearly a year and a half. The right hand injury that cost him his titles and needed surgery. But only 25, Havard. Still so keen to do well at this game. Most of Tony Foster's defeats have been on points, looking through his record. Really a 6th round fighter. He's got a tendency to mark up, as we've mentioned earlier on. He came into the ring with his face looking pretty bruised, but so far it hasn't worsened.
Yeah, Floyd's doing the right thing. The way to beat this guy, to push him back. He's not good going back. He's a bit crude, and obviously his best tactic is to come forward. When Floyd has him on his back foot, he's vulnerable, and he looks a bit sloppy when he comes forward and slings his own punches. So he's got to keep him on his back foot and hit him with plenty of fast combinations. Just what he's doing.
Be interesting to hear from you, Barry. What are the hardest things when you've stopped boxing for as long as he had, a year and a half, and you had a time out of the ring? What are the hardest things to get back?
Well, what I've been impressed with is Floyd's speed. His hand speed is good, and that's the first thing you lose, and your timing is not always perfect, and that could have been a reason why he was nailed with that counter punch and put over. But his hand speed has been quite good, and he can't let Foster come forward like that and throw punches at him. He's got to push Foster back. That's his best means of defense is attack.
Floyd Havard said before this one, I feel as though I'm fighting with two hands for the first time in my career. He hid a lot of the trouble that he had with the right hand, and I think that was why some of the criticism he received was so unfair. People accused him of actually swallowing that fight, and I felt that was totally unjust. I think he just got so disheartened fighting with one hand, and Doherty just walking through it. Credit to Doherty for seizing his chance that night.
I may point out, Jim, that these hand bone grafts don't always work. Oh,
he's got him going here, though. He's got him going in the third, and he really ripped the defences apart there. And, well, I think the surgeons that have worked on him, I know he was so grateful to those surgeons, Floyd Havard, at the Morrison Hospital in West Wales. They seem to have done the job here. And it's a question of if he can finish it here in the third. And the shots are coming through, and Arsenal's two more good ones coming in from Havard. And Foster coming back, but really in a world of his own, and Havard is piling through now, and Foster looked really unsteady there. Only the ropes kept him up. Last 10 seconds. Can Havard do it here, or are we going to have a fourth round? Good body shot from Havard. That's a great one over the top as well. Pushed him up to the body. And the bell's gone.
Hook right on the bell. Unlucky Floyd. That was a perfect combination there that he hurt, first of all hurt Foster with, and he finished with perfect double right hook. And his body shots are very good. I'm very impressed with his body punches. He's switching to the body very well. What I was going to say was that these bone grafts aren't always, they don't always solve the problem, but it seemed to have worked with Floyd. His combinations have been perfect.
Well, Floyd Havard not really known as a big puncher, but a big moment for him in this comeback fight. Getting through to the bigger man, and a good little shot over the top. What a good shot.
And last round.
So referee Mike Jacobs just tidies up Floyd Havard's gloves, and away they go for the last 3 minutes here at London Arena of Floyd Havard's comeback fight. Be interesting to hear what he has to say at the end of it. I think it's great to see Havard back. He's obviously got a little bit of work to do. He recovered from a very ring-rusty first round. At times, it looks as though he's going to end it early, but he seems to have settled for what I'm sure will be a points victory, unless Mike Jacobs has seen a very different fight from you and me, Barry. And what will we give him? 7 out of 10 on his comeback fight?
Yeah, well, he still has to win the fight yet, and there's 2 minutes to go, and I have a habit of putting my foot in my mouth, so I don't want to be counting my chickens before the hatch. But this has been a perfect fight for him so far. Apart from the knockdown in the first round, he's done everything right, in and out, boxed perfectly. And this is a tough kid, and he's a natural lightweight, and he's been able to outbox him and outpunch him and hurt him on several occasions.
He's such a stylish and classy and thinking fighter, Havard, that when it looks at one stage that he might retire, it would have been a great shame, because he's got a terrific talent. And I'm sure that the thing that will please him above all is the way that his right hand seems to have stood up to its sternest test. And he's got all the ability to go a very long way in this game, I'm sure, Havard. And for me, he's pulled things back together pretty well here in an awkward comeback fight. I think he's used his brain there. He's realised that Tony Foster isn't going to go easily, and so he's thought, right, I'll have eight rounds, a good workout, and take it from there. And a winning workout as well. No heroics in this last round. A minute to go so far anyway. As Barry says, it's always dangerous in this game to predict things. But Havard in and out, picking up the points and staying out of danger. And Foster, we must mention him, leap up in class for him, the bigger man, probably a lightweight as opposed to a super feather, but he's played his part in making this a very watchable fight. Last 30 seconds. And supporters that come down from the Swansea area, I'm sure on the long drive back, they'll say, well, that's not too bad for Floyd Havard. Welcome back, and I'm sure there's a lot more and a lot better to come.
Good brisk 8 rounds, he's boxed very well.
Lovely combination to end it from Floyd Havard. Good bit of spirit between the two fighters as well. And Floyd Havard, of course, gets to the decision. A deserved back on the back for Tony Foster. But Floyd Havard is back and his career is off and running again.
Welcome back to Big Time Boxing. What did you learn from that, Floyd?
Keep my chin down all the time. To be honest, it was nice to go 8 rounds, you know what I mean? It's been a long time out. I felt very ring rusty, you know what I mean?
Especially in that first round.
Yeah, that's right. That's one thing I never expected. First time, really. I was shocked more than anything. It didn't hurt me. It was just that I was shocked. And
tell us about the bone graft on your hand and how it came through.
well, it's been good news, you know. Many times I come up to London, and many times I've been refused from having an operation. So I went to a local physio, and he recommended me to a Dr. Matthews, and it's down to him that I've been able to come back. One bone was grafted into the other, so it was...
and it's as good as new, is it?
It's as good as new. My hand's a bit bruised at the moment, you know, but I don't mind that as long as my hand stays in shape from having another operation. I'm just really glad to be back. Obviously, I was very ring rusty, and I should put my shots back. But I thought he was going to come towards me more, and that would have suited me more, you know, but unfortunately I took after him.
OK, Floyd, thank you very much indeed.